Welcome to Weekly Briefing. I'm Rion. Everything's stalled out. Russia's stuck in the embarrassment of a Ukraine quagmire. They could have taken Ukraine inside of 3 weeks, but didn't. They're holding back. Why? China's too scared to invade Taiwan. They're holding back. Why? The FBI should have been able to devour MAR-A-LAGO and Trump once and for all. The FBI has never launched a full-scale raid without an arrest. 2 weeks out, they've got nothing. They're holding back. Why? The reason Russia, China, and the Democrats' DOJ are all holding back is because they don't know what Trump is going to do with them in 2025. The greatest advantage the entire world has against evil actors right now is that Donald Trump remains more powerful as a sitting candidate for president than anyone in 4 generations. The threat of Trump's return is doing more right now to restore the balance of power on the national and international stage than anything the insulting high-heel limping men in dresses in Biden's cabinet could possibly do. While Biden went hat in hand begging the Saudis for oil, Trump began to export more oil than we imported for the first time in 70 years, showing them who the real boss was. Where was Biden's ceremonial sword dance? Here's Trump being showered with Saudi Arabia's finest cultural displays. This was the Saudis acknowledging the first real power they've seen since General Eisenhower. In case you need reminding, the weight of what I just said is in the fact that Saudi Arabian tribes would still be living in tents were it not for the American Eisenhower generation. The Saudis don't roll out the red carpet for puppets like Biden. They just expect Biden types to kiss their feet. Remember when Trump pushed his way to the front in that swarm of NATO leaders? He'd have been justified if this was ego-driven, but it wasn't. Trump was pushing his way to the front for America. He was, and is, a man who can't stand for America to be last on anything, and the world knew it. He didn't have to prove that he owned his own 747. He didn't have to prove he owned his own golf course in Scotland or 90-story buildings in Manhattan and Chicago. He didn't have to prove any of this. After all, most of these bureaucratic NATO leaders still have car payments in their respective countries. Trump didn't have to be there for any of it. Trump was there for one reason: to put America first. And he did. But let's bring it home to the national landscape. What is the DOJ and the FBI even doing right now? Do they even know? When Judge Reinhardt asked the DOJ to redact the affidavit sparking the raid on Mar-A-Lago, the Department of Justice told the judge they just didn't have the time or manpower to do it. Translation? Sorry, Judge, we don't have a case. Please understand, the FBI reached out to President Donald Trump with President Biden's green light, asked Trump for all documents he had from the White House. President Trump obliged and gave everything he had. The FBI took all he had, locked it away with their own lock and key at Mar-A-Lago, only to return in a 9-hour, 30-man raid to break into their own vault and claim Trump was stealing classified government secrets. Could there be anything more embarrassing than this charade? And now the best they can do is leak, like the bedwetters they are, that there were 700 pages of classified documents hidden away by Trump himself. All of it moot under the Presidential Records Act. So who's the useful idiot leading this blank check looting of Mar-A-Lago? Take a good look. Alan Kohler, FBI Assistant Director, who coordinated the Mar-A-Lago raid at the behest of a DNC donor at the FBI. And having clearly gone too far on all this, even the judge on the case is pushing back, urging more transparency. The DOJ doesn't want this. They went too far, and now they're petrified. But this is the least of their worries. Here's why. Donald Trump can sue every single FBI agent who stepped foot on Mar-A-Lago, personally and right now. Every lawyer on Trump's payroll should be executing a lawsuit against every agent who stepped foot on Trump's personal property, including little Mr. Alan Kohler. Here's how. The legal precedent to sue the FBI agents and officials individually is in a 1971 Supreme Court case called Bivens versus 6 unknown named agents. Bivens allows Trump to sue the FBI agents. One miserable agent, director, assistant director, and water boy at a time. And by the way, want to guess why these FBI looters don't want an unredacted affidavit out there for all to see? It's because they sought a general warrant to grab anything. They had to lie and omit to the judge. And the hot light of day quivers on the horizon. Blank check police state general warrants are absolutely forbidden under US law. If you need that reminder, FBI, and I want you to listen to me right now, the Fourth Amendment was written to counter what you did at MAR-A-LAGO to Trump. The much-hated general warrant used and abused by the rotten British Crown was one of the sparks that set off our independence from a corrupted, elitist, debt-strapped empire. It's our understanding Donald Trump is spending $4 million a week on legal fees as of today. Imagine him leveraging those $4 million a week against individual agents of the FBI. That can happen starting today. Watch the dominoes fall. Joining us after the break is a man who worked closely with Dr. Anthony Fauci all throughout the 2020 COVID outbreak. In Fauci's case, the dominoes won't just be falling, they'll be crashing down upon him like an avalanche when we return.